end. He caught 107 balls. My goodness. It was targeted 153 times. Had 1,000.
Jeez, how many did he drop?
When we say somebody is not number one, if they're 3 or 2, then it's like some massive shot.
Okay. No, okay. It's different. It's different. You gotta listen to me. Okay. If it's a no-brainer that the guy should be number one and he's number 2, it's a shot. If it's like a debate who's number 1 and the guy's number 2, then it's not a shot. But if it's a no-brainer, he should be number 1. Why isn't he number 1?
Okay, well, hey, we'll have to see when I get to my list. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
Okay, so you're saying that he isn't.
Good, solid list from someone that's played a couple of snaps as a tight end.
There's a lot of snaps.
Good.
5th quarter.
Good, solid list.
This is former Chicago Bear Desmond Clark. And y'all hear me on many podcasts, but when y'all hear me on Pick'em Pros, y'all know it's all about family. This ain't just business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You know who it is. I am Derrick Thompson.
And I'm Diego Thompson.
And who are we?
We're the Pick'em Pros.
Pick'em Pros coming back at you in the house on a special Sunday, August 21st, 2022. Coming back at you with another weekly post. Pick'em Pros, we are here talking about the latest sports. We've been posting since the playoffs of football, and it's great that we're about to come back into it and get into the football season. And we are officially launching our first show, first of many shows, our first show called Who You Got, launching in 3 weeks, where we are picking all of the games for each week and getting into it. Man, I'm just going to dominate you and pick all these games correctly, and also track our fantasy football as we're both playing fantasy. We got our draft next week. So excited to get this going, man. You ready for some football?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready to whoop your butt in fantasy once again and pick all the games right, of course.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be
that Baker Cleveland Week 1 game.
Oh yeah, Baker Cleveland. You know me, man. I'm representing the Carolina Panthers. You know how I do, man.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're not a Panthers fan, man.
Ready for the.
I thought you're a Bengals.
Ready for the Panthers. Ready for Baker. As the true Carolina Panther fan of the family, I am here, ready to roll, man.
Okay, well, first of all, you're not the Carolina. You're a Bengal. You're a Bengal. Okay, I am the resident Panthers fan, so I'm gonna get that settled.
All right, we'll get that settled. All right. Well, hey, we are here today to get into our top 10 fantasy tight ends. So who are the top fantasy tight ends that you should draft next week for your upcoming drafts? I know a lot about tight ends. We had our special guest, Desmond Clark from the Chicago Bears. He knows a lot about tight ends. I don't know about you, though, my man. Do you know about tight ends? Are you qualified?
Dude, I play tight end.
You play tight end. You play tight end, really?
Yes. I played a couple snaps of tight end.
Okay, a couple snaps of tight end. Who do you play tight end for?
The Croft.
The Croft. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Croft.
Yes.
AKA Ravenscroft. All right. Okay. So you know a little something. You're starting. You know a little something. Hopefully, maybe we can.
Did you play tight end?
Hopefully, get some time.
Did you?
It's a long story. We don't have enough time for that right now.
You didn't say you didn't.
I was heavily recruited by our high school coach. He really, really wanted me to play tight end, and I wish I would have. But unfortunately, I did not. So all I can think about is what would have happened But fortunately, you as a seventh grader are, hopefully carrying that on, and will represent the Thompsons well and be our tight end of the family. So we're throwing that all onto you, man. So we'll see what you do with it. You ready for it?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to give our top 10 tight ends for fantasy. We can't wait because our drafts are coming up. So we're really excited about that. But before we get into that, hey, just want to give a quick shout out, rep the shirt that you've got and the hat that you've got.
Oh, yeah, man.
And so that's for the, what team is that? Who you repping today?
I am repping the Carolina Mudcats, the single A baseball team for the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's right. Yeah. Representing Zebulon, North Carolina, the great town of Zebulon, NC. Man, we had the pleasure of going to a game, and it was fun, man. It was so fun. We've been to a lot of big time games. We've been to NFL games. We've been to NBA games. We've had the pleasure of going to NBA Finals games. We've been to a lot of games. But this was really, really cool. It was easy on the pocketbook. So for all the families and parents out there, it was great. $5 parking, easy to get in and get out. Great games, a lot of fun, and we just had a great time. And you got a short sleeve hoodie.
Oh yeah, they had a giveaway for
free giveaway. You got to get your exact size. I actually got my size, which never happens from the giveaway. So that was all really cool. So shout out to the Carolina Mudcats. We had a great time there. So if you get a chance, the season's winding down, but get out to a minor league game. It's a great, great outing for the family. So get out and check out our teams. I think next week we're going to try to check out the Durham Bulls in Durham, North Carolina. So we'll get to check them out. All right. Well, you ready to get into this top 10 list, man?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, why don't you kick us off? Give us your top 10 from 10 to 1. Who should the people out there draft this upcoming year? Who you got?
All right, so I'm going to start off at 10. So I got Tyler Higbee of the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
The reigning Super Bowl champion Rams, I should add. Yes. Yeah, he sometimes is overshadowed by all the big names in the Rams defense and offense. But he is a security blanket for Stafford. And he has a couple big weeks throughout the year. So he might win you a game or two throughout the year. So he's a good guy to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And number 9, I got a guy that you might not have heard of before. Dawson Knox of the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So him, he's kind of a sleeper because everyone was talking about Josh Allen and Diggs, but they never really mentioned the tight end. He had his best year last year. And I think he's going to continue, because the whole team's got the mindset, from got a bouncing back from the loss against the Chiefs in the playoffs last year, which is a pretty devastating loss. So I think him and a lot of other Bills are going to have some of their best years.
Okay.
So next, I got Dallas Goedert, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think he's going to have I think he's going to have a slow, good year. I don't know if he'll have a good year as last year because they got the new receiver, A.J. Brown. But I still think he's going to put up some numbers. And last year he had lots of, points in the 20s.
Yeah.
Especially late in the year. So that can help you out.
I have him in my top 10. What number you have for Goddard?
8.
8. Okay. So Dallas Goedert is 8. All right.
Yeah. And then number 7, I have his former teammate, Zach Ertz.
Ooh, Zach Ertz. Yeah. Okay. You have Ertz over Goddard.
Yes. Yeah. And it's sort of because of the Arizona situation.
Okay.
Because, D Hop's suspended, so I think Kyler's going to need sort of another weapon with Marquise Brown to go aside of him. And I think Zach Ertz is going to be a good, sort of security blanket. We can just throw the short 5-yard passes to the tight end. And I think he's going to be a big part for that team. Yeah.
Do you think Zach Ertz might be one of the featured people on the in-season Hard Knocks?
Oh, jeez. That's going to be a mess. But Sure. I guess so. I think so. So, he'll be 7 on my list here. And then number 6, I got Kyle Pitts, the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
Because he
Yeah.
had 1,000 yards as a rookie last year.
Yep.
I would have him higher, but I just don't think that he's better than some of the guys that I have on this list. And and Atlanta, they have sort of a dysfunctional situation, and I just don't really know what's going to happen there. So I still have him at 6 though. So right outside of the top 5.
Yeah.
So and I have him there. And number 5, I have Darren Waller, the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's a highly targeted tight end. So, of course, in fantasy, you need lots of catches and lots of yards, and he's a guy that can give you that. But he has had some injuries as of recently. They did add Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers in the NFL. So that might decrease a little bit. But, of course, I still have him at 5. As of last year, he'd probably be in, like, the top 3. But I still think he's going to have a great year, bounce back year. And I think he might not get injured as much this year because of the because they have Adams, so that can take some pressure off of him. So and then number 4, I got Dalton Schultz of the Cowboys.
Okay. 4.
Yeah, I have him pretty high, but he had a lot of targets last year. Like as you said, you felt like every single ball in the Cowboys games was going to Schultz. And then now they don't have Amari Cooper, and some of their other receivers have gone down. So I think Schultz is gonna get even better this year. So so I have him at 4 this year, and I think he can live up to it. And number 3, I got Mark Andrews and Baltimore Ravens.
At 3.
At 3, yeah. It's it's pretty high. Pretty much everyone has him in like the top 5.
I've even seen him at 1.
You have? Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
he had a great year last year. Wow, yeah, he was he was great. He's like any card sort of fits the Ravens style.
Yep.
Because how Lamar is, and because he runs the offense really flows around him.
Yeah.
So then he can just throw it to the tight end, and then he can run, and because they're a mostly running team, and he just goes on sort of with that type of way. And then so I think he's gonna have a similar year to last year.
Okay.
And so he'll be a top 3 tight end once again. And then number 2, I got George Kittle. Yeah. So a lot of people have him in the top 3 as of recent, because he's been great in the last years, but he does play for your 49ers. So I will give you that, but he does get injured every now and then, So
he does that. That's the only problem. Yeah.
And then but he is, he can catch the ball. He can block. He can block very well.
Yeah.
And but in fantasy, you need guys who can catch and get receptions and everything. And I think they'll use Kittle to block a lot more.
Yeah.
So maybe overall, just like tight end stuff, you could you could argue him for 1. Yeah. But in fantasy, I think it's no argument that Travis Kelce is the number 1 fantasy tight end in the NFL.
He is a bad boy. He's
because he can catch better. He can catch better than Kittle, and he doesn't need to block because the Chiefs O-line has gotten a lot better. And then and then he's going to be he's probably going to be the best weapon on the team because they lost Tyreek. They did bring in some receivers, but he's still going to be the guy. And so I just think he'll have a sort of like a breakout year again this year. It seems like he has a breakout year every year, but
I think you have to have him at the top, but I don't think it's necessarily a no-brainer or
yes, it is. It is. Why is it not a no-brainer? Why?
Because I don't know if I'd say he should be the top tight end this year. So
you think he's not going to be the top tight end?
Have to wait and see when you hear my list, my man.
What are you talking talking about?
He's
been the best tight end for the last couple years, and he's had a guy take the shine away from him, and now he's gone.
That's true, but what are we doing? We are projecting, son. We're projecting. We're not going.
Okay, so you want me to just throw out the window that he's been the best tight end for the last 5 years?
No.
Let me just throw that out the window.
I'm not asking you to throw
just
that
like
out.
You did Cooper Kupp when he had the best year for a receiver ever.
I'm not asking you to throw that out. You have to factor that.
I am projecting. You see what I did for you? See what I did for Schultz? Was Schultz? How many people have Schultz in the top 5 tight end? How many people?
You did a great job of projecting Schultz. Yes, you did a great job.
And I projected Olds and Knox too.
Mm-hmm. You did a great job. You did a great job.
Yes.
And again,
I'm projecting Kelce. Can I even look a little bit at what he did last year?
See, this is what aggravates me with sports media, sports talk, and all that. Because when we say somebody is not number one, if they're 3 or 2, then it's like some massive shot.
Okay. No, okay. It's different. It's different. You gotta listen to me. Okay. If it's a no-brainer, the guy should be number 1 and he's number 2. It's a shot. If it's like a debate who's number 1 and the guy's number 2, then it's not a shot. But if it's a no-brainer, he should be number 1. Why isn't he number 1?
Okay. Well, hey, we'll have to see when I get to my list. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't.
Okay, so you're saying that he isn't.
But I don't think.
Okay, so he isn't.
I don't think it's like not a no-brainer or undebatable or anything like that. I would not say that. I would not say that at all.
Okay. Just go, man. Just go. Just give your list, man.
Good solid
give your list.
Good solid list from someone that's played a couple of snaps as a tight end.
There's a lot of snaps.
Good.
5th quarter.
Good solid list. All right, good job. Ooh, I can't wait till I draft next week. We are almost a week away from our draft.
Yeah, close by.
Can't wait to that. And then we are less than 3 weeks away from our show, Who You Got. I think I may have already said that, but who cares? We're picking the week 1 games. Ooh, that's going to be amazing because we're going to pick the games. And then you're going to want to tune in the next week to see how right and wrong each of us are. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow. So we're just going to see how wrong you actually were.
No, it's going to be a lot for you. And then, and see, that's actually going to be sad because then I'm probably going to be getting hate mail because they're going to say, why are you doing that to your son? Oh, he's just, 12 years old. I'm going to start getting all that and people are going to call me off of that. So it's probably, so that actually might hurt. So I don't know. We may have to rethink this whole thing. We'll see. All right. So let's go into our top 10 list here. Let me go to mine. All right. I'm going to start number 10. All right. Representing the great state of Michigan, the great city of Detroit, the Detroit Lions, who are currently featured on Hard Knocks. They have all these great motivational speeches that are coming out that are going to take the league by storm this year.
Have you even heard him talk on Hard Knocks? They haven't even mentioned his name on Hard Knocks yet.
I haven't, but that's what you need to be worried about because he's the quiet assassin. Number 10 on my list, T.J. Hawkinson. He is the number 10 tight end. Now, this was the toughest one for me to pick, number 10, because there are a lot of tight ends I felt like I could have picked. Higbee, I think, was a great pick from you as 10. You could have gone with a number of people. It's kind of an even keel. I'd rather have either 9 through 10 from my list. 9 through 1 from my list. So 10 was a little more of a roll of the dice, but I went with TJ. He played 12 games last year, had 61 targets, 81 receptions, 4 touchdowns in only 12 games. So he had a very solid season with just those 12 games. So if he can stay healthy, he has a lot of upside, which is a lot of what you want to look for if you're picking a tight end that late. If you're down to your 10th or 11th pick, you want to go with somebody that's going to have a high upside. So that's one of the reasons why I go for TJ. And I also want to give Detroit Lions some love. Let's give them some love here, y'all.
Yeah.
Go with them here. So that's my number 10.
Yeah. I actually had him last year.
Did you?
I did, yeah, but he got hurt, so it kind of. So I had to draft, so I had to get another tight end. So he kind of messed up my year, but I still had him as an honorable mention.
Okay, all right. So you got him there. All right, Number 9 is a guy that you also had on your list, Mr. Zach Ertz. He is number 9 on my list. I've had him in the past. I had him when he was in Philly. He's been banged up, but I like the fact that he's in Arizona, that he's going to get the ball more. He actually played 17 games last year.
Because when he got traded, they had the Thursday night game.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that's why he could.
Yeah, kind of stole the game. But yeah, he definitely, the talent is there, super talented, and the fact that D Hop is out for a while, I think he's a great pickup. You had him on your list. You had him a little higher, but Zach Ertz is a good one. I'd be fine with Zach Ertz, especially if you're able to stack the rest of your roster and then you get Zach Ertz later. I think that's a great pickup. So I have him at 9. 8, this is a guy, I haven't had this guy yet, but I've been eyeing him from afar, and he has put up solid, consistent numbers. And I think he's going to put even better numbers up this year because they're going to have a more talented roster. I have Mike Gesicki. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but from the Dolphins. That's who I have. He had 780 yards, only had 2 touchdowns. That's the one downside. He played all 17 games, but the fact that they have Tyreek and hopefully have a healthy Tua, I feel he's going to get more touchdowns this year, and he should be a great pickup. So he's a good one to get. Number 7, I have Dallas Goedert. He has been steady for the last several years, missed a couple of games last year, but I think he's a solid pick. I've got him at number 7, had 830 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see, he had 4 touchdowns. So had a very strong season there. Let's see. I have as my next one here, I have actually Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is my number 6. I went back and forth between Pitts and another guy, but I've got Pitts at 6. Talent-wise, man, he's at the top. You know, our very own Desmond Clark thinks he's the best tight end right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just talent-wise. And you can definitely make an argument of that from talent-wise. But last year, he only had 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
You know? And
he was he was inconsistent. He had a lot of, like 1 point. He had a couple 1-point games. And so.
Yeah. So I just don't think he's going to be able to really score a whole lot of touchdowns this year. I just don't see that happening. So for that reason, I have him a little lower. He caught 68 balls last year, but I just don't see how Kyle Pitts, again, really good pickup. You can get him later after some of the first tight ends are picked, but I couldn't put him in my top 5 just because of it being on Atlanta. I just couldn't do it just yet.
Yeah.
My number 5, I think you had him at 5. I've got Dalton Schultz.
I actually had him 1 higher.
You had 1 higher. You had him at 4. Okay,
yeah.
I've got him at 5. I got him at 5, 6 for the Dallas Cowboys. He had 8 touchdowns. From tight end.
And for a tight end, that's a lot.
Yeah, especially from wherever people picked him up last year in the draft, and where you might be able to pick him up. Though a lot of people are starting to rank him higher and higher based off of what he did. But I've got him as the 5th tight end. I know Dak is going to need to use him by losing Cooper. He'll definitely be going to him. All right. Then at let's see, number 4, I have, you might think it's low, but it's because of who I have in front of him. I have George Kittle. I have Kittle as my number 4.
My gosh, Kittle?
He had
Kittle at 4.
I have him at 4. He has 6 touchdowns, played 14 games, but again, the injury history is concerning me. He's starting to get up there. He's starting to get hurt with more regularity. Mm-hmm. As high as you would have to probably take him and what you would have to sacrifice, I just have to bump him down a little bit. I can't have him as a top 3 tight end. Talent-wise, yeah, but the injury history, the unknowns, all of that, I just can't put him as my top 3. I can't put him over the guys that I have there.
Oh, but he does have Trey Lance, though, and he might,
True, yeah, because he may have to lean on him, yeah, because Trey Lance,
lean on him and Debo at first. So.
Yeah. So again, I can't. Hey, if you have him in your, you had him at 2. I think you had him.
Yeah, I could argue for him at 3 because Andrews, but
yeah. I had him at 4. I had him at 4 because I had to put Darren Waller at 3.
You put Darren Waller ahead of Kittle?
My goodness, man. Waller, again, he played 11 games last year. So his
injury history is worse.
I don't know if I could say that. I think last year he definitely was banged up. I think he's going to have a lot of pressure taken off of him this year by having the chemistry of the team, having our new receiver there, having Devontae Adams. I think that's going to be a huge pickup for them, obviously. So I think he's going to take a lot of pressure off of them. I think Derek Carr is going to have a great season. So I'm really high on the Raiders, as a lot of people are. And I think Waller is just going to benefit from that. So I've got Waller at number 3. We know that Derek Carr is going to force feed him the ball. Even with Devontae Adams there, he's still going to get his catches. They're not going to be able to, double and triple him like they have in the past. So I'm just banking on that. If you gave me Waller or Kittle, I'd rather have Waller because I think the upside can be ridiculous. I mean, when it's all said and done, would we be surprised if Waller put up the best numbers out of all the tight ends this year?
Yes, I'd be very surprised.
No.
Not with Adams on the same team?
Dude,
if that happens, then the Raiders will probably win the Super Bowl.
What if they double? What if they double Adams? What if Adams goes so crazy and they double Adams? Then what's going to happen with Waller?
Adams is going to be in the top of receiving yards. So you think Waller's going to be one of the top receiving yard tight ends?
Yeah. That's why I have the Raiders finishing second in the division. That's why I have them finishing ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs.
So let me ask you a question: is Carr better than Mahomes?
No, I wouldn't say.
Exactly. So again, you see, he's up here throwing preseason touchdowns to guys that we don't even know yet. Yeah. So you know what I mean.
But it is what kind of touchdowns?
He's gonna make guys that we've never heard of into household names.
Mm-hmm. He's throwing what you said a key word. You said preseason. He's throwing preseason touchdowns. Okay, to guys we've never heard. Okay.
Yes, he's like Tom Brady. He's making guys household names
against very vanilla and basic defenses. That's what's happening. Right? See, these defenses, they aren't doing anything exotic. They're not game planning. They're not doing anything. They're
game planning. They're game planning.
Running base sets. They're just running base sets. All right. So he's my number 3. My number 2 tight end that you should pick for 2022 is an amazing tight end. This guy is a total beast. He's proven it year in and year out. You cannot go wrong with picking him here. Even if you pick him at number 2, it's not a shot at all. I have the great Travis. That's my number 2. He had a mega year last year. Oh my goodness. He caught 107 balls. 1,000. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I got my stats wrong. My bad. He caught 92 balls. He had 1,125 yards. I was reading the number 1 tight end's number, so my bad. Had 1,125 yards, 9 touchdowns. Oh my goodness. And in just 16 games. Guy was a total beast. He's gonna face some more double teams this year. I think.
But Tyreek was taking opportunity from him. But now we calling him that. Come on.
You can look at it both ways, but again, like I said before,
I'm projecting and I'm looking into the past. It is a shot. It is a shot when the guy's the clear number 1.
I am a Travis Kelce fan.
Dude, how do you keep you put Cooper Kupp number 2 after you had the best year of a wide receiver ever? You put Travis Kelce 2 after he was the best tight end 5 years in a row. And then you put Taylor number 2 when he was the best running back last year. What is this happen? What is it?
Because you can't. Okay, for one, you can't just totally. It's a mixture of things. Okay, and Kelce is bound to start to dip at some point, so you have to take all of that into account. Okay, he's been around. He's been around for a while now. Starting to get up there. Is he going to continue to put up these monster numbers again?
At least for this year.
If you ask me over the last 5 years who the best tight end has been in the NFL, it's Kelce, hands down. That is undebatable. That's just undeniable. He has been number one. He's been great. This is just simply my projection for 2022. I've got Kelce number 2. There's nothing
Kelce number 2?
Nothing wrong
with
that.
That's disrespectful.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Are you being so disrespectful, man?
A Kelce fan. And at number one from the Baltimore Ravens,
man.
Mark Andrews as the number one.
Mark Andrews?
The number one tight end. He caught 107 balls. My goodness. It was targeted 153 times. Had
how many did he drop?
1,361 yards and 9 touchdowns. My goodness. I mean, you made the argument when you were picking him whatever. Well,
was he consistent? Was he?
Oh, it's very consistent. And Lamar Jackson has a huge season coming up. So he's going to have to throw that thing a little more this year. And who better to throw it to than Mark Andrews? So that's exactly what's going to happen. So I think that's pretty clear cut. He is your number one tight end for this year. When you look at the numbers, it'll be the same as last year. Mark Andrews will probably lead the league in tight ends for receptions and touchdowns, is my prediction for this year. So it's my list, man. What you think about that? You good about that? Have I changed your mind? You made any changes on your list? I think I've convinced you.
No, you're making me actually feel stronger about my list.
I don't know about that, man. Don't know about that. All right. Well, hey, I cannot wait for the draft coming up. We've got to start working on who we're going to take per position. So I know I'm picking 5th in our 10-team league. I think you're picking 9th. Do you have any idea? You have any strategy that you want to reveal on what you're going to do? Or you keeping that a secret for right now?
Yeah, well, I think that I'm gonna try to go for I think I'm gonna go for a receiver in the first round. I'm gonna try to do that, and then it just depends what happens the rest of the first and second rounds until I get to my next pick. It just happens when the first picks after to my second round pick. So I know I probably want a receiver first round. That's all I know.
Yeah, you really want to get that receiver. Well, yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, when you're picking a little later, a lot of the top backs are going to be gone. So you're going to have some position that you're a little weaker at. So you want to definitely sharpen your strength. So that's probably, a good strategy. Get the best one you can. And you're going to have 2 picks really close to one another.
Yeah. So, second round, my second round pick is second pick of the second round.
Yeah. So that's probably more of the question, which you don't have to, get into right now. But what I'm curious to see is what you do with that second pick.
It depends. It depends for me what running backs are available.
Right. Do you go more you can say discipline route or traditional route and try to spread it out and pick, one position, one person per position for those first few rounds. So you go receiver, then running back. Do you, as you see how it's falling, maybe one of your backs is still there. Maybe you take a back knowing you can get one of your receivers right away. Maybe you do that. Maybe if there's a top QB that you wanted, even though we typically don't take quarterback till a little later, if one of your number one guy on your board still happens to be there, there's a lot of ways you can go with it. I know one year I actually went receiver. Because I said, okay, forget it. I'm just going to have a great receiving core, and I'll just try to get some gems at running back. And I did that one year. So there's a lot of different ways you can go. So I'm excited to see which way you go with it. It's kind of interesting for me picking 5th. I'm still kind of on the fence from that. I got to look at some of the mocks and see what people are doing there. I've got some backs on my list that if they're still there, I'll probably go back, running back, and then get a receiver. But again, a lot just depends on when how everything falls. So we'll see how that goes. All right, my man. Well, hey, enjoyed doing this with you. Looking forward to our draft. Looking forward to your first game on Thursday this week.
Yes.
So we'll be looking forward to that. We'll look to see, you debut at your tight end position. And also believe you're playing a little defense. You're playing some D. What you playing on defense?
Yeah, I'm playing a little defense. Maybe I'm probably gonna play a linebacker.
Okay.
I played that in the scrimmage.
Okay, all right, the linebacker. All right. Well, keep your head or keep your eyes open. Look for those tight ends and linemen and receivers looking to come at you. So make sure you're ducking and dodging, and we'll be looking out for you then. Look out for again our first show in a couple of weeks. Who you got? Until then, enjoy sports. Enjoy everything that's going on, and we'll see you next time. Peace out from the Pick'em Pros. Later.
Tavares Jordan.